morning everyone. My name is Vanit Mishra and I am the teacher of Guru Krupa Vidya Sankul. We have seen many types of firms. So in business studies what happens, we deal in number of firms. Today we are going to cover one of the topics. See, the firms have grown too big in recent times, in modern times. But initial it was not such. पहले के समय में बिजनेस जो था बहुत ही सिंपल और बहुत ही इजी प्रोसेस थी. आज के समय में जब बिजनेस बहुत बड़े हो रहे हैं, सो बिजनेस को बहुत पैसा चाहिए होता है. अब बहुत पैसे को मैनेज करने के लिए बहुत सारे लोग भी लगते हैं. सो टुडे we are going to see the most traditional type of business, which is called a sole proprietor. As we see, number of firms are there, number of firms are there, and they have different types also. The first type is sole proprietor, the second one is partnership, the third can be seen in cooperative society, and the last one is joint stock company. Now joint stock company, if we say, it requires lots of people, lots of money, but right now today what we are going to see, the most easiest one, the most traditional one, which has been existing since the ancient times. The topic which we are going to cover is sole proprietor. Today we are going to see what is the meaning of sole proprietor, what are the laws about sole proprietor, what are the features of it, merits, demerits, all the topic we are going to cover by today. So without wasting a single minute, let's start with our topic. So let's see what is the meaning of sole proprietor. As you can see, sole proprietor, here we have given the definition, a very small and very easy definition, convenient one, which is very easily to understand. A business which is owned, managed and controlled by a single individual is known as sole proprietor organization. The business which is easily handled, एक व्यक्ति जो अपना बिजनेस चला रहा है, खुद मैनेज कर रहा है, खुद चला रहा है, उसे सोल प्रोप्राइटर. Yes, he can hire staff also, but still it will be considered sole proprietor because he is the only whole and soul of the company. He is the only whole and soul of the firm. So when a business is started by a single person, owned by a single person, and it is managed by a single person, all the decisions related to business are taken by a single person, then it can be said as sole proprietor. The firm can be said as sole proprietor. Have you understood the meaning? So what is let's revise for a time. What is the meaning of sole proprietor? When a business is started, owned, managed by a single person, single individual, it can be called as sole proprietor. Okay, let's move forward. Now to understand in a very better way, let's see the feature of sole proprietor. What are the feature of? If we talk about Indian constitution, we don't have to, or Indian laws, we don't have to register. There is no requirement or legal compulsion to register a sole proprietor firm in the eyes of law. We can directly open we don't require a license even too, we don't require a registration, we can start it directly, but it should not be something illegal, it should be legal, and it should not be requiring something hazardous material or chemical material, something like that. It cannot be done, but very simple business and traditional things, items, consumer durables, groceries, these all things can be opened without any registration. Easily you can register, there is no legal requirement to open such firm. So let's see what is the feature to understand in a better way sole proprietor. Let's see what is the feature of it. The main feature which we are going to cover is, we have total 5 features. Let's see the first one. What is this? Single ownership. The sole proprietor of the firm is owned by a single individual. The first thing what we have to see, the firm is owned by a single individual. All capital is supplied by the single individual. See, he can supply, either he can do wealth, what is the capital which is he is having with himself, or he can do a borrowed fund. जो पैसा उसके पास है वो भी वो लगा सकता है, या वो पैसा किसी से उधार लेकर अपने बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट कर सकता है. दोनों ही चीजें हो सकती हैं. Either he will invest his own capital or he will borrow amount and he will invest in his business. Both can be. But who will do it? This will be done by whole and sole by the sole proprietor itself. So it is single ownership. So what is the meaning of single ownership? Where all the decisions related by him, he will be only taking. He is the single individual to manage the business, and he will only supply the required amount of capital either by himself or by taking the loan as a borrowed fund. Okay? So either he will be investing his own money or he will take a borrowed fund, that is loan. but he will only take, no other person will involve in such things. The second easiest thing is formation and closure. See, no legal formalities required to start and to close the sole proprietor firm. No legal requires. You see, I told you before that there is no legal compulsion to register a business. You can easily start business. There is no legal formalities also to start the business. See, to start or to close, nothing is required. You can directly start and you can directly close whenever you want to. Easy formation, easy closure. No separate law governing this form of business. There is no such law, there is no law is being made to govern such business. कोई ऐसा लॉ नहीं बनाया गया. जैसे जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी में आपको कंपलसरी आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन भी कराना पड़ेगा, सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन लेना पड़ेगा, कमेंसमेंट लेना पड़ेगा, तब आप बिजनेस को स्टार्ट कर सकते हो. ठीक है, बट इसमें ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. आपको इजीली जब आप चाहें, आपको लगता है कि प्रॉफिट अच्छा इस बिजनेस में है, आप उसको ओपन करना चाहते हैं, यू कैन इजीली ओपन इट एंड वेन एवर यू वांट इट. इफ यू आर सीइंग दैट देयर इज नो प्रॉफिट इन इट, यू आर suffering from loss, and if you want to close down the business, there is no legal compulsion, you can easily close down. There is no requirement to inform someone or something like that. You can easily start the business and even close the business very easily. Okay, the first two topics which we got under the feature is single ownership and formation and closure. In single ownership we have seen that it is a single individual who will supply all the capital, either it is his wealth, own wealth, or it is a borrowed fund. The second thing, either formation and closure, easy to form, easy to close, no separate law to govern such companies or govern such firms. Okay, the third one is unlimited liability. What is the meaning of liability? And here in the terms of liability, when you have to pay some amount to someone, it is a kind of liability. Here in the business, what is unlimited liability? Unlimited liability, you can take loan, but whenever you have to pay back the loan, and if your assets are not capable or have a capacity to pay off that amount, then you have to sell your personal properties, personal belongings. So unlimited liability के अंदर प्रोप्राइटर सारे डेब्ट्स को क्लियर करने के लिए जवाबदार है. सारे जितने भी बिजनेस के डेट्स हैं उसको क्लियर करना पड़ेगा. अब अगर उसको क्लियर करने के लिए कंपनी के एसेट्स कम पड़ते हैं तो उसे अपनी पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी को बेचकर उसे क्या करना पड़ेगा, अपने डेट्स को चुकाना पड़ेगा. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ अनलिमिटेड लायबिलिटी, वेयर द पर्सन हैज टू सेल हिज ओन पर्सनल बिलोंगिंग्स, हिज ओन पर्सनल एसेट्स फॉर बिजनेस. बट इन जॉइंट स्टॉक यू आर लिमिटेड बाय योर इन्वेस्टेड अमाउंट. आपका जितना शेयर होता है उतना अमाउंट के लिए लायबल हो, आपकी पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी में से कोई क्लेम करने आता नहीं है. बट सोल प्रोप्राइटर में ऐसा नहीं होता. अगर आपने लोन लिया है तो जब तक उसकी सिंगल पेनी भी बाकी है, आपकी पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी बेचकर भी उसे कर्जा चुकाना पड़ सकता है, आपको कर्जा पूरा करना पड़ सकता है. सो द थर्ड पॉइंट इज अनलिमिटेड लायबिलिटी. So if you have to pay the debt and you don't have sufficient amount, your property can be claimed by the creditors. Now the fourth point is individual risk bearing. Sole proprietor is a single person. He is owning his business. He is managing his business by himself. Then who will be liable to pay the debt? Who will be bearing the risk? Who will be getting the reward? He himself will get the reward. He himself will take the liabilities. So fourth point, individual risk bearing. Here the whole business is borne by the proprietor, that is the owner, and he is the sole beneficiary. So if we talk about to take the risk, all risk will be borne by the proprietor, and if we take about if he is getting abnormal profit, then all the profit will be enjoyed by the sole proprietor. So he will be getting his own profit. Whatever he will risk take, he will get his result of it, he will get the reward of it. So all the risk he is taking it, all the profit he is going to enjoy. So he alone take the risk, so he is the alone what you can say enjoyer of the profit, or you can say he is the own person who is the single person who is going to enjoy all the profit, as he is only taking the risk, no one else is coming. If he will suffer loss, no one is going to help him, so he will not share his profit with anyone. He is the alone sharer of his profit, he will not share with anyone. Okay, this was the fourth point. Let's see what is the fifth point. One man control. Now as we see, it is owned by single owner. The firm is owned by a single owner, so sole proprietor has the full control over the firm. Ownership, management and control, each and everything is done by himself. The business lies in the hand of one person only, and who is that? दैट इज सोल प्रोप्राइटर। ये पूरा बिजनेस सिर्फ एक व्यक्ति के द्वारा चलाया जा रहा है, उसकी हर चीज के बारे में डिसीजन एक ही व्यक्ति ले रहा है, तो पूरा कंट्रोल किसका है? सिर्फ और सिर्फ सोल प्रोप्राइटर का। ही इज ओनली द वन हु इज हैंडलिंग ऑल द बिजनेस, ही इज मैनेजिंग ऑल द बिजनेस, सो द कंट्रोल ऑन द सोल प्रोप्राइटर इज is on the sole proprietor firm is for only one person, that is sole proprietor himself. No one other is going to have a control on it. Now let's see sixth point. Sixth point is no separate legal entity. These were the 5 main points. Now 6 and 7, it is comparison of joint stock company. See, joint stock company has separate legal existence, whereas sole proprietor does not have separate legal existence. As soon as the sole proprietor will be die, or what you can say, he is incapable, he is mentally unsound, in such condition the sole proprietor to close down his business. So the business does not have separate legal existence. आप सोल प्रोप्राइटर को बिजनेस से अलग नहीं कर सकते, दोनों एक सिंगल पर्सन की तरह काम करते हैं। अगर सोल प्रोप्राइटर नहीं होगा तो बिजनेस भी चलने वाला नहीं है, लेकिन जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी में ऐसा नहीं होता। सी, नो सेपरेट, लॉ के नजर में दोनों की वैल्यू एक ही है, दोनों एक ही है, अलग अलग नहीं है। लेकिन जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी में उनको चलाने वाले और कंपनी खुद दोनों की वैल्यू अलग अलग होती है। फिर बिजनेस एंड द ओनर एग्जिस्ट टुगेदर, दोनों साथ में एग्जिस्ट करते हैं। मतलब अगर ओनर नहीं तो बिजनेस नहीं, बिजनेस नहीं तो ओनर नहीं, दोनों अलग अलग नहीं हो सकते, दोनों को एक ही तरीके से देखा जाता है कानून की निगाहों में। वो एकदम एक सिंगल इंडिविजुअल जो है, अगर वो है तो बिजनेस है, अगर वो नहीं तो बिजनेस नहीं। सो हियर देयर इज नो सेपरेट लीगल एग्जिस्टेंस, परपेचुअल एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ द कंपनी। Okay, now 7th point, lack of business continuity. Now see, it is done by single person. So if he dies, if he becomes mentally incapable or mentally unsound, in such situation who is going to run the business? Might be no one, might his child continues the business, but if he don't have the child, then in such condition he have to close down or shut down the business. So as the sole proprietor whole and soul is running the business, if he becomes incapable of running the business, then he have to close down, and many such businesses are getting closed down because of lack of person to continue the business. So sole proprietor business does not run very long period of time, it closed down in very quick time, very less time. So there is a lack of continuity in the business of sole proprietor, because that person, if someone comes also to manage the person, might be is not that enough capable to run the business for a longer period of time, how the old, or you can say the past sole proprietor has completed with it. But the point is that the continuity in this business is very less as compared to the other formats. Now last point is small size. Yes, sole proprietor does not grow very much big because he is the alone person. He has a limitation of borrowing, he has a limitation of involving personal assets and personal capital in the business. एक व्यक्ति एक बिजनेस को कितना ही बड़ा लेके जाएगा, जॉइंट स्टॉक जितना बड़ा नहीं लेके जा सकते। क्यों? क्योंकि उसमें बहुत सारे लोग का बहुत सारा पैसा लगा रहता है, लेकिन सोल प्रोप्राइटर में सारा पैसा सिर्फ एक ही व्यक्ति का होता है। तो एक बिजनेस को बहुत बड़ा लेवल पे लेके जाना या बहुत बड़ा बनाना, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी पॉसिबल बाय द सोल प्रोप्राइटर हिमसेल्फ। सो जनरली और ट्रेडिशनली यू कैन से सोल प्रोप्राइटर छोटे फर्म्स होते हैं, बहुत बड़ी फर्म्स होती नहीं है, सिंपल छोटे फर्म्स होते हैं। एक व्यक्ति की एक लिमिटेशन है, ही इज हैविंग अ लिमिटेशन, ही कैन पुट अप हिज पर्सनल कैपिटल फॉर अ लिमिटेड स्पेस एंड ही कैन बोरो द फंड, ही हैज द क्रेडिबिलिटी फॉर लिमिटेड अमाउंट ओनली। ऐसा नहीं है कि उसको 2-4 करोड़ 10 करोड़ 15 करोड़ का लोन मिल जाएगा अपने बिजनेस को रन करने के लिए, ठीक है। तो इसमें पॉइंट ये है कि बिजनेस अगर छोटा सा है तो उसकी भी जो लिमिटेशन है कि वो थोड़े से ही लोगों से पैसा एडजस्ट करके बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट कर सकता है, बहुत ज्यादा पैसा एडजस्ट नहीं कर सकता। बट आप देखिए जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी में क्या होता है, बहुत सारा पैसा बहुत सारे लोगों का होता है, तो उसके मुकाबले उतना बड़ा बिजनेस लेके जाना सोल प्रोप्राइटर के लिए पॉसिबल नहीं हो पाता। तो जनरली क्या देखा जाता है, कुछ बिजनेस होंगे जो एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी वर्क करके आगे निकल जाते हैं, लेकिन फिर बाद में उनको अपना फॉर्मेट चेंज करना पड़ता है, दे हैव टू एंटर इन पार्टनरशिप और दे हैव टू गो फॉर जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी। बट सोल प्रोप्राइटर बहुत बड़ा बिजनेस नहीं बन पाता है। Okay, so these were the features. Let's see what we have studied so far. We have seen single ownership, where all the all the things are managed by the single individual. Second, what we have seen is formation closure, easy to form, easy to close. Third thing, we have seen unlimited liability. If you are having debt, if you suffer losses, in such condition, what you have to do, you have to pay your debts. For that, you have to sell your personal property. That is unlimited liability. Individual risk bearing, as he himself bear all the risk. He is alone recipient of the profit. He will only alone enjoy the profit. Then one man control. The whole business is owned and managed by the single person. So that is, it is one man control. No separate legal existence. The law does not consider sole proprietor and his business as separate identities. He conveys that they are both a single identity. Without sole proprietor, the business cannot survive. So that is no separate legal existence. Lack of business continuity means we have seen that sole proprietor business does not run very much long. It is for a shorter period of time as compared to the other business formats and small size. Okay, so sole proprietor cannot be grown at very large scale as compared to the other formats, because it is having very limited managerial ability, limited power of money, so he cannot grow at very large scale. So we have seen the features of sole proprietor. Now, why a person should do or start sole proprietor firm? So we have to see its merits and advantages. To start as it is very easy to start, and the second thing is the person can get an experience of it, out of it, and he, after understanding the advantages and the merits of the sole proprietor, we can easily understand why people always in India maximum business are of sole proprietor. Each and every person want to do their own startup. Currently, it is a modern culture where each and every person want to start their own business. Now, they start their firm as a sole proprietor itself. Okay, so let's see what are the merits of the sole proprietor, why every person likes sole proprietor. So let's see merits or advantages of sole proprietor firm. First thing is quick decisions. As he is the single person to decide all the things for his business, he will not waste time. He will not do any discussion with anyone. He will not waste time at all. He will take decision for his business quickly. Immediate action is taken. He does not like to consult or waste any time. He will directly take decision for his business. What he feels, what his experience says, according to his consigns, he will take the decisions immediately. He will not waste time. Immediate actions can be taken which bring flexibility of operation. To perform in business, we have to be very much flexible, and business should be flexible. So as the sole proprietor is taking immediate decision, he applies in the business, he gets the benefit of it. The big firms cannot take decision quickly and apply immediately, but this benefit is owned by sole proprietor. This benefit is gained by sole proprietor. The first point is quick decision. Now, second point is confidentiality. As the person does not have to discuss anything to anyone, he keeps his secret with himself. There is no legal compulsion to publish his account, what he's planning to, what he's going to, what his plans are for the future. He does not have to disclose to anyone. He can directly perform his task. So it becomes very easy for him to keep all the secret of business with himself. As he is a single person, he is a deciding person, he will not share any of the things with anyone, and in such a way he is able to hide all the business secret with everyone. No one can see his accounts, and there is no legal compulsion to issue the account book. So he can hide all the things, all the business secret with himself. He does not discuss with anyone. The third thing is direct incentive. When a person does the job, he requires something so that it constantly give him a kick to perform more. Here in sole proprietor, if sole proprietor increase the effort, what is the result of it? He gets his profit in an increased manner. So there is a direct relation between efforts and reward. If he will make more effort, he will get more reward. So in sole proprietor firm, there is a direct relation between efforts and reward, which means if a sole proprietor will put extra effort, his profit will increase. So proprietor is always motivated. He always feels motivated that no, he has to work very hard, and as much as he can doing work hard, as much as he's increasing his hard work, constantly he's getting the reward for it. So it is very motivating factor for the sole proprietor to increase the effort and to get the maximum outcome of it. Then third thing is self accomplishment. See, whenever person gets something after putting an effort, he feels happy, and happy person feels satisfied even too. Happy and satisfied person consider himself that he has achieved something in life, and the person who has achieved in life, they feel accomplished, they feel self accomplished. Whenever you do something, you reach the target, you feel yourself self accomplished. Similarly, in sole proprietor, what happens, the success in business not only contribute his self satisfaction but instills in individual a self of accomplishment and confidence. He constantly feel that no, I have achieved something. Whenever he gets succeed, he feel that I have succeeded in something, I have gained something, and his confidence for doing the business constantly increases. So sole proprietorship also gives confidence and फीलिंग ऑफ सेल्फ अकम्पलिशमेंट. व्यक्ति को लगता है कि नहीं मैंने कुछ हासिल कर लिया है, और ये मेहनत वो और करते चले जाता है. ये फायदा है सोल प्रोप्राइटर का. एंड लास्ट थिंग इज easy to form and easy to dissolve. See, whenever person get abnormal profit, जब भी व्यक्ति को abnormal profit होता है, abnormal loss होता है, तो ये दोनों conditions में व्यक्ति react करता है. When you see abnormal profit in a business, you try to invest. When you see abnormal losses, you have to dissolve the business. So sole proprietor is very easy to form and easy to close as compared to the other. Joint stock company has lots of formalities should be fulfilled when you want to close down the business. Lots of formality when you want to start the business. If you want to start the business, very much formalities. Close down the business, too much responsibilities, or what you can say, formalities. So in sole proprietor, it is very easy to start and easy to dissolve. So person don't have to get in legal formalities, pay fees, expert hiring. These all things he don't have to do. It's very simple thing. Not governed by any specific law. Easy to start, easy to dissolve. Whenever he desire, without any legal formalities, he can start, and whenever he want, he can close. It can be closed by paying back its debts. One thing you should do, that pay all your liabilities. If you have paid all your liabilities, then you don't have to see anyone. You can close down your business. Okay. So 5 things we have seen that are profitable for the sole proprietor. The first thing we see, quick decision, where the decision is taken immediately because he don't have to consult with anyone. Second thing we have seen, confidentiality. He himself is the decider, so he keeps all the secret with himself. He does not share with anyone, and he is flexible about it. Whenever he wants it, he applies in it in his management. The third thing, direct incentive. There is a direct relationship between efforts and the reward. If he put more effort, then he will get more reward, and by that he constantly feel himself motivated, sense of accomplishment. Here, the person when he gets success, he feels that no, I have achieved something. So that is why he is motivated and keep on doing his hard work, and so that he can get higher position in his business. So he feels confidence about it, he get accomplishment, he feels that no, I have achieved something, and that also keeps him motivated. And last thing is easy to form and easy to dissolve. There is no legal formality to start a business and no legal formalities to end the business. So it is very easy to form and easy to close. That is why the maximum person goes for sole proprietor first rather than big businesses. Okay. Now there are few drawbacks also to go for sole proprietor. The few drawbacks we have to discuss. See, everything has positive and negative effects. Everything. So only seeing the positive effects, if we go in sole proprietor, it is not going to be what you can say. It is not going to be fruitful. So always look at positive and negative, both the effects of each and everything. Then only we can succeed in life. We always have to have both the perspective. Okay. So sole proprietor has some limitations also. Let's start with it. The first thing is limited resources. As the person is the single owner, his credit capacity is limited, his wealth capacity is limited. If he want to grow his business, then he is not going to have very much resources for it. So finance supplied by the proprietor himself, either by himself, his property, or by taking loan. So the growth business hinders over here. The growth of the business gets curtailed. The funds are not sufficient to convert this sole proprietor into medium and the large scale. That is why this is the first limitation which has limited resources. The second thing is limited life of a business. Now see, as we have seen, the sole proprietor can get sick, he is mortal, he can get sick, he can die. No person wish to die by himself, but each and every person what this feel that they become incapable of running the business, they become mentally unsound, they can become, these are the probabilities which can put a stress on the business. So the survival and the continuity of the business, we have seen there is a question mark about it, because as he himself is the owner, and after that who will run the business, and the business will be run by a person or not, that is also a point of question. So the survival and the continuity of the sole proprietor depend on the person only. If a person is running the business, till the time the business will run very easily. But if a person becomes mentally unsound or incapable of running the business, then might be the business has to close. So in the conditions of sick, or he can sick, mentally unsound, or incapability of a sole proprietor, the business may come to an end. This is the second point. Unlimited liability. Now see, business, for running a business everyone takes loan, there is no, this is no big thing, but sometimes the loan amount exceeds the assets amount of the business. Then in such condition, the person has to settle off these debts by paying their personal property, by cutting their personal property. So sole proprietor is personally liable for all the debts of the business. In the case of heavy losses, he has to sell his property to pay off the debt of the creditors. So in such cases, what we have to do, we have to sell our personal property. So in such business, there is an unlimited liability, and this is a risk factor. Every person should consider his wealth, that is assets, and the credits of the business, that is creditors, we should always consider. We should not let creditors increase than assets. Otherwise, we have to suffer, if we suffer loss, we have to curtail our personal property, we have to sell off our personal property, which is not beneficial position for. That is why it is a disadvantage of sole proprietor. Now fourth point is limited managerial skill. See, one person cannot be good at all the things. If you are a good cricketer, that it is not 100% that you will be a good footballer, you will be a good hockey player. If you are good in studies, it does not mean that you are going to be good at each and everything. Someone is good at sports, someone is good at studies, someone is good at some other things, someone is very creative. So each and every person is having their own skill. So you cannot be great at all the things. Similarly, sole proprietor, he is a single individual. He cannot be good at each and everything. So what he has to do, he has to either increase his skills, or in if some decisions are taken wrongly, then might be he has to close down his business too. So it is limited managerial. Single person cannot have all the experience and all the expertise of in all the things. So at some point of time his decision may go wrong, and in such cases he has to suffer losses. So he cannot be expert in all the fields. He may be good as a salesperson but not be a good manager. A sole proprietor generally cannot afford to appoint specialized and expert employees. One more thing is there. He has no much more amount, or he is not running the very big business so that he can hire experts even too. He has to do everything by himself. So sometimes, as he is not able to take good decisions, business may run a loss, business may be in losses, suffer losses, and he is sometimes overburdened too. If business is growing big, then a person feels overburdened. So everything is not possible that he and only himself will be able to do it. Because he is a single person, he cannot be expert in each and everything. So but he is having financial constraints even too, that he cannot hire experts. So that is why sole proprietor becomes a bit disadvantageous in such conditions. So these were the disadvantages what we have seen so far. Limited resources, where the person is having limited amount so that he cannot grow his company. A limited life because of lack of continuity of the business. We cannot take business for a longer period of time because the person is a single individual, and either he gets sick or he get die, the business has to be closed down. Unlimited liability. When a person is a single owner, so he has to bear all the debts of the company. If the company suffers from loss, then the person has to pay the debts by selling off his personal liabilities, which is a disadvantages for the business. And last is limited managerial skill. A person cannot be expert in all the types of activities. So might be he is good in sales, good as a salesperson, but is not good as a manager. If he is good as a manager, but is might be is not good at production manager, in such condition he has limited managerial skill. He cannot manage the whole business in a very perfect manner. And but the second constraint is he don't have much amount to spend, so he cannot hire experts also. So in such condition, what happens, the sole proprietor become disadvantages. Okay, so for today we are going to end the session over here self. What we have studied so far, we have seen that we have studied today the meaning of sole proprietor. Okay, the second thing what we have seen its features. The third thing what we have seen the meaning of it, sole proprietor, features. Then we saw merits, and last what we see, the disadvantages, or you can say demerits. So these were the complete knowledge about the topic which is called sole proprietor. When see, this is the old and traditional one, old business and traditional business. So when we will meet in next session, we will be studying partnership. What is the meaning of partnership? Okay, so everyone keep studying, keep learning, and Jai Hind.